So I had a dream that everyone would come into this presentation wearing an eye patch. That did not happen. Also that I got smoke on stage and everything was looking super nice here, but that also did not happen. But we'll do it. Sinking the pirate ship, it's all about piracy. And I'll take you through a couple of data and insights that we have learned through my work in Allente, but also as chairman in Nordic Counter Protection for globally and Nordically, and see how we see the piracy market. And I'll try to stay on time as well. So first of all, looking at the global threats and trends. Our investigations together with Synomedia shows that we have detected approximately 15,000 different piracy wholesalers and 51,000 different piracy stream servers, meaning servers continuously playing out pirated content. During 2022, we have seen a growth in piracy of 35%. Just to give you a little bit of illustration on how big the problem is, we see an accelerated trend for something called piracy-as-a-service, and I'll try to get back to you on what that actually means and how it's all built up. So Allente is also located in the Nordic market, so we have a little bit more detailed data on the Nordic market. We have seen more than 1,000 different resellers of piracy services. And they have approximately a little bit above 1 million paying subscribers in the Nordic market, which is a quite small market. In 2021, they had approximately 30% growth in paying subscribers. That's more or less more than anyone else in the Nordic market. There's literally no operator or broadcaster saying that we had 30% growth in paying subscribers in the Nordic market. Estimated yearly revenue for the piracy services in the Nordic market, 75 million euros. That means for the legal market, a revenue loss of somewhere above 300 million euros in that tiny, tiny, tiny Nordic market. And they are super professional. This is a Nordic example of a reseller. We can go after them, stop them, but in the second we stop them, it takes approximately 1 day, 2 days, a new one pops up. They do advertising, they do campaigns on their products. For crap's sake, they even have better customer service than us. They have 24/7 customer service. Our customer service is open from 9 to 7. 6 days a week. They offer all the content you can find in the world. So all SVOD content, everything from Netflix, everything from Disney+, all the sports league you can imagine, the big leagues, the small leagues, they use our brands to seem legitimate. So Allente, Viasat, Seymour, La Liga, TV2 Play, Viaplay, they have all their brands. From a customer perspective, this seems legal. They have hardware. I can buy on a campaign, get 1 month for free, and pay 10 euros a month for having access to all the content you would ever want to watch. So how does this ecosystem actually look like? The piracy-as-a-service ecosystem. This is what we see, the resellers, what I just showed you on the last slide. And there's thousands of them. Then if you start diving a little bit under the surface, you find the wholesalers. They own the infrastructure, authentication servers, they authenticate the subscriptions, they handle all the customers, they handle all the technical work, making sure that the resellers actually have a product to sell, and they take a small fee. Below there, you have the content aggregators. These are the ones that have the contacts throughout the industry, or contacts with hackers, illegal activities, etc., and aggregate everything. Then also creates a wholesale function. Wholesaling, the actually selling of content. Still, no one has paid for the content to the rights holders. The money is going strictly down to the content sourcing. These are the guys attacking our services, our CDNs, either through hacking, DRM cracking. We have even seen examples of extortion. So basically extorting someone working at one of the operators or one of the broadcasters to give them access to the content. So this is how the entire piracy-as-a-service solution has built up over years now. And I think we can admit, after Pirate Bay, after card sharing, most of that was actually stopped. And we were thinking, yay, we won the battle against piracy. Then we stuck our heads in the ground and let the pirates build up a professional service. Much, much better than anything we have seen before. So I think it's about time that we got our heads out of the ground and start fighting a little bit back. But it's no longer, we are not fighting against boys, young boys sitting in their room at home, sharing torrents. These are professional players, professional criminals. So we need to take a little bit more holistic approach to it. One, we need to protect our content, we need to protect our services, all the way from when the production happens throughout the value chain when it's distributed to the customer. This means conditional access, DRM, etc., etc. Security in multiple layers. Then we need to disrupt the way the piracy-as-a-service has built up. Going after the money streams. They are using legitimate payment services. So the biggest piracy operators in Norway are also using the biggest legal payment service in Norway. So it's possible to trace the money before it's transferred into crypto. Then we need to go, of course, the resellers. They also need to be stopped. But we need to go further back. We need to stop the infrastructure. We need to attack the infrastructure. Not kind of physically attack them, but you understand. The way we have been doing that in Allente, so first of all, protecting our services, is connecting all the layers of security. So from the user authentication, authorization, concurrency controls, DRM, license service, and conditional access. These layers have traditionally been separated, and nobody has been looking holistically at them. So what we are doing now together with Synomedia is kind of connecting all the layers. So you can't just break one layer and then you have access to the content. You have to break all layers, making our security solution much, much stronger than it used to be. Then working together with Nordic Content Protection and other operators, we need to collaborate together with the other operators and broadcasters in our markets and across markets to stop the illegal piracy streaming of content. And ultimately sink the pirate ship. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I think we have time for a couple questions, if anybody's got any questions. Yeah. Okay. John, one sec. Could you stand up and say your name and where you're from?
My name is Hans Smalls, I'm from Liberty Global. The question is it related to the recession also? Because the increase you showed was 21, 22, an increase. Is a relation there, or is it because the technology became better for the pirates?
It's a really good question. I think it's a combination of many things.
Yeah.
So recession, absolutely, one driver. People have less money to play along with, so they find cheaper services, and these services, from a user perspective, seems legal.
Yeah.
But
I know in the Netherlands it's the same story, so I know this.
Then content price inflation, so sports rights have become quite expensive, costly. That drives prices. It kind of contradicts also the recession thing happening. So I think people have less money, and prices is going up. The second one is we have built a lot of security solution that doesn't take care of the user, takes care of the security, but makes the overall user experience a little bit less good.
Yeah.
Makes things a little bit slower, a little bit more difficult.
You have to wait for all the DRMs are loaded.
Exactly. And then
that starts in 3 seconds or 4 seconds instead of 1 or 2.
Exactly. While in the piracy service, it starts
like
that.
DRM.
Yeah. So it's multiple things that are driving the growth in piracy.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, do we have any more questions? Ooh, one in the back. So I'll get you the mic.
Do you think that the sports rights fragmentation that we saw on the first presentation will make this even worse? So even the honest sports fans, they used to get everything off of one operator who had most of the sports rights. It's now being fragmented across direct-to-consumer, streamers, pay TV operators. You get less with any subscription. Do you think could actually drive more piracy?
It's not helping, I think we can say. To use an example from Norway, so cross-country skiing is a big thing in Norway. And it's always been broadcasted on the public broadcaster, and everything has been in the same place. Last year, or 1.5 years ago, the rights were sold and distributed along multiple broadcasters. Viaplay has some, the public broadcaster has some, TV2 has some, and you have no idea where the content is actually airing. So we are making it more difficult for the customer to actually find the content again. So not helping.
Brilliant, thank you so much. And let's see, we'll have time for just one more question. Is anybody else? I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. Big round of applause.